What's going on, everybody? Lil Chris here, and in today's video, I have my last APA 8-ball match from my last live stream clipped out for y'all to watch. Now, I was actually supposed to have this video published before I went to Las Vegas, but my video editing software errored right at the last second when the video was about to finish, and I couldn't post it. So here it is for everybody to enjoy, and I'll see you when it's over. Let's see here. So, I don't know if y'all can see, but in this matchup here, it's a race to 5. So that means I am playing up against a skill level 7. Not only am I playing up against a skill level 7, I am playing up against another Super 7. The same Super 7 that defeated me in my last 8-ball video that I titled Battle of the Super 7s. We went hill to hill, and he managed to take me down by barely avoiding pocketing the 8-ball early and won 5-4. This is the same 7/Super 9 that I played in my Battle of the 9s 9-ball video, and I managed to beat him in that matchup there. So we have me having 1 loss in 8-ball and 1 win in 9-ball. Let's see if I can redeem myself back in 8-ball with a race to 5 against my opponent. I end up winning the flip, so I'm going to be breaking first. So that had to have been the cut break, actually, so I must have had this type of spin on the cue ball, and you can see I don't make anything on the break. And my opponent here is not a person that you want to be dry breaking against. At all. Just like I'm not a person that you want to dry break. You saw what happened to the on the previous match that I talked about. My opponent broke dry, and I ran the table. So he takes stripes. It's like he can play the 13 ball or the 15 ball next. A little bit of an elevated cue there as he plays the 15 ball, it looks like. What's he going to do? Oh, gets a nice friendly little bump off of the 4 ball to come back out into the open. He now has position on the 11. I wonder what is he going to do with this ball here that's tied up next to the 8 ball. Okay, sizing up the 11 ball to go into the corner pocket. Like he's got a bit of draw on the cue ball. And he does pull the cue ball back. Is he trying to get position on the 14? What's he shooting at? Oh, shoots the 9 instead. And what a shot. Comes 2 rails around, gets repositioned back onto the 14 ball. Now I'm starting to wonder if this 12 ball goes into the side pocket. And I'm wondering it more now because I think that's what he glanced at. Okay, 14 ball should be going into the upper right corner pocket and try to just drag the cue ball up for the position on the 13 ball. Oh, but he doesn't make it. So I get to come to the table. Cue ball is pretty much stuck on the foot rail there. And if memory serves correctly, I do try to shoot at the 3 ball. And instead of playing it down here into the corner pocket, I do believe I tried to cut it here into the side pocket. I think the intention was to cut the 3 into the side pocket, have the cue ball come down table here for position on the 2. No, but I end up undercutting it, and oh gosh, where's my cue ball going? And I scratched. Yeah, so if I would have cut it enough, I think the scratch was completely avoidable. The cue ball comes off of the short round, comes back out, and gives me position on the 2. But against the Super 7, You don't do stuff like this, because what does he do? He takes the cue ball and plays the ball that is the hardest to get position on. 12 ball does go into the side pocket here. And from there, that I would think that should be all she wrote. Let's see what he does. 14 ball into the corner. Gives himself a nice little back angle on the 13 ball. Is he going to try to draw through and come through the 1 and the 6 here? Or will he push forward this way? He's definitely getting somewhere over here. That looks like a draw. He's going to come through the 1 and the 6. Ah, nicely done there. Right into the middle of the table. Calls the upper right corner pocket. And I am going to be down 0-1. So, not a great start for me. Okay, he's doing the second ball break. Makes a ball, makes 2 balls. Gets a really decent spread. I don't like this at all. What is it? It looks like he made 2 solids, so that means he is solids. And I'd actually like to probably shoot stripes if I was in his position. So this is where it's like you would say like this is the disadvantage of APA, because at least in BCA he'd be able to shoot stripes, whatever. But at the same time, I would basically challenge and saying like, well, is it running solids more skillful because it's harder, right? So which do you go for? Now he makes the first combination there, so this doesn't look good for me. 3 ball goes into the side pocket. You can see the 4 and the 6 can go into the bottom right corner pocket, so he'll more than likely play the 4 ball next, I would think. I can't tell if the 6 goes by the 4, but I think the 4 at least goes by the 6. Yeah, just like that. And both the 6 and the 1 can go into the bottom left, but considering the position that he's got, I would imagine the 6 ball should be going into the bottom left corner pocket, and he can just roll the cue ball to play the 1 in the same pocket. Did you look at that? Robert Dowling, this is a race to 5, as my opponent is also a skill level 7, like myself. All right, let's see here. Do you jack up for this shot here so that way you don't have to worry about the cue ball running into those stripes? He's not. He's playing just with a straight high ball. Manages to go through the 15. He's got decent position on the 8. He's going to try to back cut it into the side pocket. Oh! And he undercuts the ball. Oh my goodness. I get a shot at the table. I thought it was going to be down 0-2. So, I have a wide open table. So as long as I don't screw up, I should be able to finish the table. Question is, the same question remains though, is what's everybody's pattern? Right? There are multiple patterns that you can do here. Let's see. I don't even remember the pattern that I did. Let's see. Looks like I'm starting with the 14 ball. What is that? That's a bit of a center ball hit. I have to watch how it reacts off the rail. That's a center inside hit. I must be trying to get position on the 9. Or the 13. Nope, it ends up being the 13 ball. Probably should have shot the 9, but I can see that I have top spin here. Push the cue ball over to the side rail and back out. Okay, now I'm going for the 9. That's going to automatically allow the cue ball to track back down towards the other end of the table. And right now, I don't even like the pattern that I'm playing here in retrospect. I think there's at least a better pattern that I could have done here. When we can go back and look at this. So it looks like I'm playing the 10 ball into the side pocket. Cue ball rolls up table and comes back down. Gives me position on either the 11 ball or the 15 ball as long as I don't hit it too hard. Okay, that looks like maybe some bottom right spin. Comes back for the 11 ball. And what do I do here? Do I stun the cue ball to get on the short side of the 12? Or do I draw it to the side rail? Looks like I have a little bit of bottom spin. Yeah, so I stun it to get on the short side of the 12. Because now I can just play the ball in. It almost doesn't matter what I do. The 8 ball probably should be going into the side pocket. That is top spin. And the 8 ball will be going right here. So, not the greatest of transitions, pattern play. Let's actually go back and take a look at that. We are tied up 1-1. And let's see what else we could have done here. That probably just would have been a lot easier. Now, I have to say, I think I do at least always like starting with the 14 ball, but I think ideally I probably should have gotten position on the 9 instead. And so whatever amount of left spin that I did, I probably should have put a little bit more left spin on the ball, so that way when I shoot this ball in, I would probably hopefully expect some sort of result like this. And just get a little bit flatter on this 9 ball, so that way all I'm doing now is just working my way down the table. Right? It probably doesn't matter after that. Like after I go from the 9 to the 13 to the 10, then after that it probably really doesn't matter. That's probably would have been better than what I did, because clearly when I got to the 9 ball, after I think this ball and this ball were gone, they're off the table. And when I shot the 9 ball like this, clearly something could have went wrong when my cue ball came down here. I could have, I mean, if anything, if I would have hit the 12 and they separated and I can't see the 10, then more than likely I would end up shooting the 12 ball here into the corner pocket. But I think this part right here was probably the worst transition that I actually could have done between this area here. I don't know. Does anybody see anything else different? Alex Johnson, you're saying you like the 11 ball first, then the 15, which is this guy. So that means you probably did something like this. Then the 12. So you allow the cue ball to do this. Then the 10, which means you do this. So actually you don't do that, because you're probably wanting to get flatter on the 10 if you're thinking about playing the 14 next. You're probably wanting to do something like this, so that way you can draw back for the 14. Like this. Yeah, I happened to catch that, Bill Bar, on what the drawing started to end up like, so that's why I erased it really quickly. But it's gonna be there, so it's still gonna be funny. I'm pretty sure someone will comment on it when I actually clip the video out. And then so from here, you get the 13, so that means you're doing some sort of bottom right. So like this is your out. Okay. And then where does the 8 go? So that means the 8 goes somewhere like this. I would have to imagine. Is that pretty much what you had in mind, Alex Johnson? Again, it's not like there's anything wrong with that, especially going from the 9 to the 8. There's no way to really screw that up, so long as the 13 ball is the last ball that gets you position on the 9 ball. So that worked out. But clearly, like I said, this pattern, this run out pattern here could have been a lot better, in my opinion. And actually, when I think about it now, I kind of want to use that little area of the funny drawing and maybe make that the thumbnail. I think that would be freaking hilarious. All right, here we go. Rack number 3. Oh, I lose my cue ball. At least make a ball or two. What do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So did I make 2 solids and a stripe? No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I made 2 solids, so I'm just solids. Don't really like the starting position that I have. Not sure if I can back cut the 5 ball into the corner pocket or maybe just play the 7 into the side pocket. So same routine, right? Walk around the table, try to figure everything out, figure out if I'm going to play safe somewhere or am I going to try to run the table. Let's see, what am I doing? I'm putting a lot of thought into this. I can't tell what I'm shooting at. It looks like the 5 ball. I must be trying to back cut the 5 ball. Yep, that's what I do. I make it, get a friendly little bump off of my opponent's stripe, and I have position on the 2. The heck do I do here? So usually I'm pretty sure that all I had was just a twist of right spin on that last shot. Because when I'm doing super thin cut shots like that, I really don't try to do a whole lot with my cue ball. Let's see here. Looks like got some bottom spin on the cue ball there. Oh, liked how I was able to get the cue ball off the side rail. That gives me good position on the 3. Okay, I can see I have bottom spin again. I'm just not sure how much. Where am I playing position next? Draw back. Get a friendly little bump on the 8. Does that mean I can see the 1 ball on the side? That must mean I can see the 1 in the side, and I'm trying to figure out where to place the cue ball to get position on the 7. So I definitely have to be playing this with like some form of top spin, probably some left spin. So when I hit the side rail, I spin back towards the middle of the table. Yeah, just like that. Okay, good position on the 7 to go into the top right corner pocket. And more than likely want the cue ball to go 2 rails. Come off the 7, 1, 2, and then back out right around here for position on the 8 to go into the same corner pocket. So it looks like I have some top left spin. Oh, and I run into a stripe. You can see I'm not happy, but fortunately, when I walked over there, I saw that I can play the 8 ball into the side pocket. And as long as I make this 8, if I'm not mistaken, that this is a break and run. Yep. There we go. I managed to break and run that one and retake the lead. All right, let's see how this break looks. And actually, that doesn't look like topspin anymore, so I think I'm doing the cut break now. Nope, that was the topspin hit. Whenever we get that cue ball to pop like that. Made the 1 ball. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it looks like I made both a solid and a stripe on this one. Don't really like stripes with all this mess right here. I think really my only concern for solids is this 5 ball. I don't remember if it goes into either of the corner pockets because of that 11 ball. Yeah, that's true, Alex. You know, when you're all the opponent's balls are on the table, trying to maneuver the cue ball, you know, so close and to try to avoid everything, it can get rather difficult. All right, let's see. What am I trying to do here? I can see bottom spin on the cue ball. I must be shooting at the 2. Okay, use the other stripe to hold the cue ball, but you can see I'm not happy that the 15 ball comes up and ties up next to my 7 ball, so that sucks. It looks like I'm shooting the 4 into the side. Oh, and I nicely break the 7 ball out. That was with a bunch of bottom spin. Now what am I gonna do with my 5? And if I'm pointing right there, that means the 5 ball goes into this corner pocket. So if I remember correctly, I'm gonna try to get there right now. From the 7 ball, I think. Yeah, checking to see if I can land here to play the 5 into this corner pocket. Because one problem that I have is if I just roll this 7 ball in, I can't get position on the 6 unless I try to control the cue ball. Rolling the 7 ball in allows me to get position on the 3. And then from the 3, I obviously would have to play to the 6. And then from the 6, how do I get to the 5? Like that would be the retrospect. You can see a lot of bottom spin on this. What else am I doing? Oh, bottom right spin as I tried to get position on the 5 ball and I ended up scratching. Ah, that's disgusting. So, before my opponent plays here, let's talk about this area. Whoop. What do we think? Should I have just played the 7 ball in, get position on the 3, and then try to transition from the 6 to the 5? Did I jump the gun a little too early and try to get position on the 5 right now? Like that basically would be the question. Because clearly there's no multi-rail route that allows me to do something like this. Like we saw that I drew the cue ball here, and there's no route that allows me to end up like this, right? Because I think I'm pretty much going to run into the 8 ball. So if anything, I'm either trying to hit this, I'm either trying to hit the ball like this, or I'm trying to get it to just miss it and come over here, so that way I can shoot the ball here. Now we saw the pace that I had on that ball, so even if I would have missed, there's no way I'm getting position on that 5 ball. Like it'll hit the short rail, hit this rail, and then just come back out over here, and I probably still have to deal with the 3 and the 6 after that. Let's see. Near Sharona, you're saying if you don't like stripes, but the solids are not an easy start, would you still go for solids? Typically, when I have an open table, the main thing that I try to assess is troubled areas. Like, does one set have more trouble areas than the other? And then if there's a tie on the amount of trouble areas, then what I will try to look for after that is, are there balls in the area that allow me to deal with those trouble spots? So that'll usually be the tiebreaker. So like if solids is more runnable because there are solids near the troubled areas that allow me to open them back up versus stripes, then that's more than likely why I'm going to choose solids versus stripes. In this case here, I just didn't like I guess we'd have to go back. So this is I need to make sure where I mark where the timestamp is. If we go back to when I started, which is right here, and I elect to choose stripes, then let's see, what could I have done differently if I would have chosen stripes instead of solids? Because it looks like I would have to start with the 13 ball. I might be able to cut it into the side pocket here. That's a possibility. That means my cue ball hits the side rail, possibly runs into the 7 ball, and I probably have to try to get position for the 9, because I would definitely have to use the 14 ball to roll up here to get position for either of these guys here. Like that would be the big dividing factor in order to do that. But because if this 5 ball does go, and I honestly don't remember if it does or if it doesn't, but if it did go, that would be the reason why I ended up choosing solids, because really there's no trouble spot on the table for solids versus the trouble spots that there are for stripes, if that makes any sense. So let's go back to where I scratched, which is pretty much right here. And so now my opponent has ball in hand. What if making the first ball is difficult? I mean, that goes back to percentages, right? I mean, it's not like if I already have a set claimed, the odds of my opening shot being a safety just really depends on the percentages, because if I just don't have a shot, which happens often on breaks where like balls spread out everywhere and you just don't have a shot at the set at which you're supposed to have because it's APA, then yeah, I would have to look for like a high percentage safe shot to try to play. But we can see here I gave my opponent ball in hand, so this is not looking good for me. It's like he's just going to stun the cue ball over to the side rail. Or no, he just stuns it to the middle of the table. That was actually really well done. 8 ball in the corner pocket. And when you make mistakes like I just did, you get punished for them, especially by this kind of an opponent. So 2-2. Oh, what a break. Actually, did y'all notice that? Watch both of the corner balls. The 4 and the 12. Y'all see that? Both of the corner balls just went straight over into the corner pockets. So, open table. Considering the position of the cue ball, my opponent elects to start with a combination and is now stripes. And with that, there's no real issue on the table. What do we do here? Stun off the 15 into the 1 ball? Oh, just manages to go past the 1 ball. Can almost play any combination he wants here. 10 into the 14, 9 into the 14, or play the 13 in the side. I think I like the 9-14 combo better. Because then I'm automatically getting position on the 10. It's like that right there, because things could go wrong with that kind of combination there, like they did. Obviously, you can see my opponent's not happy about that. I think trying to cut the 9 into the 14 probably just would have had better results, because you automatically get position back on the 10. The question would be is, does the 9 ball stay in the corner pocket, or does it move away and then now the 10 ball has a pocket? So it looks like he tried to bank the 9 ball into the cross corner pocket and was unsuccessful, so I get to come back to the table. Come back to the table. I don't even think I started the table. My opponent broke. So what do we got here? Here it doesn't look like I have a single shot that I can go for. So now it looks like I probably have to come out with some sort of defensive shot. Let's see what I do. I'm looking at the 2 ball. What am I doing? That looks like I have some topspin on the cue ball. What am I doing? Ah, a two-way shot. If I would have banked the 2 ball in, so that means I also must have had a little bit of left spin. If I would have managed to bank the 2 ball in, I can at least still see my 5 ball. So a bit of a two-way shot, both offensive and defensive. Oh, what a shot. Wow. But the cue ball gets away from him. I'm pretty certain he wanted to have position on the 10 ball there. What can he do now? Got a high cue ball. Oh, I think he tried to make my ball for me and then leave the cue ball behind the 10. That was an interesting safety. All right, let's see here. We can see I got some topspin on the cue ball. I'm going to be playing the 2 ball into the side. I had to have had a bit of twist of left spin for it to do that. Does the 1 ball go past the 3? And what am I going to do with the 7 and the 5? That's going to be the big question. Hmm. Yep, you can see I got to put a lot of thought into what am I going to do with this. I'm not sure if I have the angle to where if the one ball does go, do I have the angle to where I can push the cue ball over here into the 5 and 7 and separate them a little bit? Oh, I must be playing safe then. Yep. Didn't like the fact that I probably could have made the one, but I didn't really have the angle to play the breakout, so I elect to play safe. Ooh, ball in hand foul. Wonder why I had to wipe the table there. Must have been some chalk debris. All right, let's see here. You can see I'm looking at trying to play the 5 ball into the corner pocket, but I'm so close to this stuff, I end up changing my mind because I don't like it. I don't want to possibly double hit the cue ball with my cue. So I must be wanting to play another defensive shot. Yep, I'm going to bank the or push the 5 behind the 7, have it hit the 10 from behind, push the cue ball up over by the 7, and so that way both balls should now be accessible towards pockets. Pretty much like that. Now, that was just with a slight bit of a rolling cue ball and just a soft hit. All right, nice little bank attempt there. Pretty sure he's probably not wanting to make it though, right? When you think about it, because why bother making that ball and then you don't have position on your last ball? So I'm pretty sure this is intentional. Like he wanted this ball somewhere over here so that way he can block this pocket from all 3 of my solids. So that was actually pretty good. Let's see. I'm now more than certain that I'm just gonna play this ball in. What do I have? Is that top left? Did I do that on purpose? I had to have. Yeah, I did another safety. I could have made that ball, but I played safe instead. So never mind. I thought I was trying to make that ball. That had to have been on purpose. So one rail kick. Oh, how'd he hit it? Oh my goodness. Wow. So I have to one rail kick now, but the odds of me hitting one of my solids is pretty good. Trying to remember which ball am I trying to hit though. I honestly don't remember. I end up hitting the 3. I definitely knew that I hit the 3 on the wrong side. If I'd have hit the 3 on the other side, then my cue ball would be over by the 7 or whatever, and no telling whether or not if there would just be an open shot here. Now my opponent's stretching uncomfortably across the table. Managed to play 2 rail shape to get position on the 10. How is he going to go from the 10 to the 8? Tries to go back and forth. Uh-oh. And doesn't make it either. What do you call that? Do you call that an overhit or didn't hit it hard enough? Like, is he wanting to land somewhere over here, or is he wanting to get past the one ball and land here in the window? Which one do y'all think it was? Okay, good kick by my opponent. Now, the 7 ball does not pass the 5 ball. And I'm actually not comfortable shooting the 3. You can see it's 2 to 2, race to 3. And like, if I remember correctly, like it just didn't feel top notch at this time. So I end up playing a safe on this one here. Push the 7 ball out into the open, hide the cue ball behind the 3. Right? So now everything's kind of out in the open. Right? So if I can end up getting a shot here, whether it's ball in hand or not, I should be able to attack the table. You can see he's going to try to call the 8 ball into the corner pocket, so it'll be one rail kicking this from the short rail down to the bottom left. Woo! Good hit. All right, pretty much back where I started, but now we're in a completely different scenario, right? Now I'm comfortable playing a shot. Let's see, what am I doing here? Looks like it's going to be the 5 ball first. I have a little bit of draw on the cue ball. I'm going to try to hold the cue ball. Okay, that means I'm playing the 1 ball next. 1 should be going into the side pocket. Automatically have some topspin on the cue ball. Cue ball just rolls forward. Play position for the 7. What do I do here? That looks like a center ball. Yeah, that was just a rolling ball as I go to the side rail and back out. I'm able to shoot the 3 ball down into the bottom right corner pocket and kind of just stun over and get a little bit closer to the 8 ball. Yeah, so that was with a little bit of draw. So all that patience at least paid off. And John, I'm not going to disagree with you about how I'm overthinking on this particular area. I was just playing a lot more conservatively versus aggressively on how I usually play some of my matches. Because you're right, I was overthinking on this particular rack here. All right, so I'm up to 3. Ah, look at that. How many balls did I make on the break and I scratched? Could have sworn I saw like 3 balls go in. 3, was that 3, 6, 9, 12? Yeah, 3 balls went in on the break and I scratched. So in APA, when you scratch on the break, you have to start with the cue ball behind the head string and see what my opponent does. Oh, and he ends up missing the 10 ball. All right, so it's still an open table. Let's see what I do. Looks like I like stripes. Looks like I'm eyeballing the 14 ball. What am I doing with the cue ball? Nice inside spin shot there to send the cue ball 2 rails. So that's a bit of right spin. Not sure I wanted to bump into this ball, even though it's still accessible where it's at. But I must be playing the 15 ball next. I would have to think. Looks like I got some bottom spin on the cue ball. What am I doing? Yeah, I try to draw back for the 9. Oh, that's right. I remember this shot. Watch what happens. This is inside spin. Y'all see that? If anything, I think I rushed that shot. If I go back and look at it, go back and look here. I have a high left on this shot here because the angle that I have here automatically causes the cue ball to go over to my right. So you saw the results of the cue ball. Like this ball was supposed to go here, and my cue ball was supposed to go here, here, come back out, and then I'm pretty much done, right? I could shoot this ball in with some bottom right, and then have the cue ball just come over here and shoot the 8 ball into the same corner pocket, right? But I ended up botching that 9 ball the way that I did. Bobbles the pocket. What did I do? Did I overcut it or undercut it? slow that down. So that's an overcut because I'm trying to cheat the pocket so that way I can get the cue ball over here to the side rail, I think, in order to do the spins that I want. Is that the correct spin? Yes, it is. It is top left spin on the ball in order to try to create this result here, and I end up messing it up. Otherwise, I was supposed to be out. So now my opponent has a wide open table, starts with the 1 ball, immediately shoots it into the side pocket, gets position on the 3, holds the cue ball for the 4. You can see it looks like he's playing fast and loose on this one. Shoots the 5, comes off the short rail. Is he going to go for the... He's going to go for the 7. I'm imagining the 2 ball is going to be the last ball he would try to use to play for the 8. 7 balls next. That means the 6 ball must be coming into play. That's with top left spin. Doesn't want to get flat on this ball, though. No, he's more than good. Stun over to the middle of the table. Just like that. 2 ball into the lower right. And then the 8 ball into the upper right. Overhit that ball just a bit, but he still should be okay. Yeah, and he cleans up on my mistake, and we're now 3-3. If I'd have just made that 9 ball. Okay, I think I saw a ball fall, and there went the 9 ball. 2, 4, 6. 2, 4. Maybe it was just the 9 ball. What did I must be seeing things. Yeah, so my opponent is solids. Or stripes, I'm sorry. And he tries to play a carom off of his 11 ball to make his 15. I come to the table as solids. Do I even have a shot? Maybe the 6 in the side? I can't tell if there's a window there. RD, autistic skew, my opponent is a 7. So I was able to play the 6 in the side pocket. Looks like I have position for the 5. I also have position on the 1. Looks like I'm playing the 5 ball. No, do I change my mind? No, I'm going to play the 5. Definitely have to have some top spin. I'm going to the side rail. Where else am I going after that? Okay, a twist of left spin to come back out for position on the 1. I would have to think I would just roll this ball in and have position on either the 3 or the 4. Yeah, got a lot of top spin on this ball. Just roll the 1 ball in. Or I didn't roll it, actually. And actually, that's top left spin if the cue ball's reacting like that. Now, I actually kind of like this, because if I do play the 3 ball, I can force the cue ball into the 14 ball and have position on the 4. I'm pretty sure that's what I'm going to do here. Oh, that could have went all kinds of wrong, but I'm glad it didn't. I can play the 4 ball now and get position on the 2. Oh, Vinay, you're interested to see how I get on the 7? So am I. Looks like I got a high ball here. Probably a twist of left spin. Yeah, to get behind the 2. All right, so I should be able to just stun right through these 2 balls or maybe stun into this ball. So yeah, you can see I got some bottom spin. I stunned through it, but I clipped the 11 ball, and that causes me to lose position on the 7. I'm pretty sure, if anything, I wanted to either stun right through it or run into one of them in such a way to where I have position on the 7 to go here into the side pocket. So, unfortunate. Let's see what I do here. What would y'all do here? Near Shironi, you're saying drawback for the 7 in the top left? Let's go back and look at that. I can't say I would disagree. I definitely do think that's a possibility. I think the problem would be is because since I am slightly cutting this, am I going to draw like this? Or would I be able to maybe throw the ball in, right? Still put the bottom spin with some left spin and hit the 2 ball flatter. So that way hopefully the spin throws the 2 ball towards the corner pocket, and that way I can hopefully draw back like this and play the 7 in the top left. That's certainly a possibility. You know, it's always funny to think about what you could have done in retrospect. What? Let's see what I do here. All right, here we go. Think I'm putting enough chalk on my cue? I'm still thinking about it. Let's get to where I shoot. There we go. What am I going to do here? Tried to play a safety. Push my cue ball, or push my ball away from everything, and then lock the cue ball up against the 8 ball. I don't know. Does anybody see a different safety that I could have done? Because as you can see, it wasn't very safe. Well, it doesn't look like my opponent likes the position that he got. And plays safe against me. Right? This is the right way. The right way. I was gonna say, like, is it the right way or a way? This is the right way to play basically any game. You know, he could have attempted to go for some sort of hero shot, but what are the odds that I would be able to kick the 7 ball in and get position on the 8? Right? That's what he's thinking about. Right? So, and that's what would cause him to play safe like this. And it's probably the best decision that you're supposed to make at this point here. He would just have to hope that I either don't kick it in and get position, or don't hit it at all and he gets ball in hand, or just don't leave him some sort of hard shot. All right, so it looks like I got some top spin on the cue ball. Oh, and I had to have been trying to play that ball with the way that I hit it. I don't know why it got up so quickly, though. But hey, look at the luck that I got. Tied up his 2 stripes. So that's actually a good thing for me. It helps delay the game. Maybe I get another opportunity at the table. So a little bit lucky. Look at this. He plays another safety. Let's see here. Y'all know how badly I would want to be able to jump this, but in APA you can't use jump cues, and I'm not jumping full cue with a soft tip on my Predator Black. Because you are allowed to jump in the APA, you just have to use your full cue when you jump. Ooh, y'all see what I'm doing here? Y'all know what this is? This is the double the distance measuring system. So basically, actually, I can try to break this down on this part here. So basically, what I've done is I've pinpointed where I think the center of the ghost ball is if I were to just shoot straight at this ball for it to go into the corner pocket. Right, so that's where my tip is at, the center of the ghost ball. And so now I place my fingers here on the rail. And so what happens is when I pull the tip of my cue back to the rail, watch where my fingers end up. So right here, what I end up doing is I try to draw a straight line with my eyes through the cue ball like this. So and the camera, where the line is on this view here is probably not correct, but this is basically what I'm doing in real time, because wherever that line goes through gives me an idea of where I need to kick the cue ball one rail in order to have a chance at least hitting the ball, let alone making the ball. This is called the double the distance measuring system, or I think it's also referred to maybe as the mirror system, because you mirror the distance from here to here out to here in order to see where you have to kick the cue ball. So I'm actually going to leave the line on the video, and let's see if even from this camera angle does it work out. It looks like it does. I have to kick just above the side pocket in order to possibly make the 7 ball into the corner pocket. Right? Pretty good. At least almost guarantees that you're going to hit the ball, let alone make the ball. So my opponent still has to deal with this. So at least I got a good hit. Vinay Pai, you're asking if I need to adjust the distance a bit to account for the fact that you're banking off the side rail at a shallow angle. Um, if I think you're correct, but the shallow angle that you're referring to is not that angle. If the angle was more shallow than that, then yes, I do believe that's correct. So now my opponent tries to make his ball, fails at doing so, but then also luckily breaks out his ball, and then leaves me a rather thin cut shot at this 7 ball. Like, I have an opportunity here, so I do go for it. I play this with, I think, some top left spin, as I'm going to try to zigzag the cue ball back to at least get somewhere near the 8 ball. Kind of like this. That was a good shot. Don't get up on that 13 ball. Ugh, that's disgusting. Where would I want the cue ball, right? Ideally, like right here or right here. And you can see, like, I'm looking at from this cut angle here. If I do try to go for the corner pocket, I'm more than likely going to scratch. I can't dig at the cue ball because the 13 ball is in the way, so I can try to avoid scratching and causing the cue ball to hit the side rail. So what do you do? What do you do? What do you do in this position? I'm going to try to bank this 8 ball. It's the only thing I can see. Because there's no playing safe here. This is do or die. You can see I call the 8 ball up here. I'm going to try to bank this ball in. And I also know that my cue ball is at an angle where it's going to cross the path of the 8 ball. So I hopefully have to avoid the double kiss. Like that. But I missed. So much for that one. Right? I would pretty much have to guess that I'm losing the rack from here. I'd have to get a miracle to get back at the table here. Starts with the 11 ball. Stun over to the side rail maybe. Gets a little bump off the 10. You can almost run this in any order. Elects to shoot the 13 ball. Gets position on the 15. Plays that with some top left. Has position on the 14 or the 10. More than likely plays the 14 ball with a little bit of draw so he can play the 10 in the side pocket. Just like this. gets and then just draws back for position on the 8. Or you can just follow forward. Yeah, he follows forward with topspin, comes off the side rail, 8-ball into the top left corner pocket. So I did what I could there. If I'd have just got better position on the 8-ball on my last ball, this would be my rack and not my opponent's rack. But my opponent is on the hill. All right, here we go. Stripe down, 2 stripes down. Okay, looks like he's got a straight line shot at the 15 in the bottom left. Ooh, tries to break out the 12 ball. Oh, let's see here. What do we do here? Nine ball in the corner pocket or the side? He goes for the corner. Gets position on the 11 for the side. What do you do with the 12 ball? This doesn't look good for me if this is a break and run. Okay, where does the 12 go? Does the 12 go on the side? Oh, the 12 did go on the side, but he missed it. Leaves the cue ball flat on the short rail there. And looks like I'm going to try to back cut the 4 ball into the corner pocket. I've already done that a couple of times during this match here. Actually, that's another inning. And I don't end up cutting the ball enough. Oh, gosh. Well, that might be all she wrote. 10 ball down. 12 ball in the side pocket. Yep, and then 8 ball in the bottom right corner pocket. And I'm not able to redeem myself in 8 ball against this opponent. And that's all she wrote. 3-5 in 14 innings. Man, could I have done better? Of course I could have. But whatever. It was still a good match. And so, like, between all the videos that I've posted between me and this opponent here, he's got 2 matches on me in 8 ball, and I've got 1 match on him in 9 ball. So still good on my opponent. This is actually one of my more favorite opponents to play in our APA league because he's just as skillful as I am. And in our local pool hall, I think there's only about five or six of us that we're all like relatively close to one another. So when we play each other, it typically turns out to be a really good matchup. So hopefully next time I run into him, I can beat him. But we'll see. Well, I really couldn't redeem myself in this match here now, could I? But I hope everybody was at least able to see the amount of patience that I showed in Rack 5 with the amount of safeties that I played. That's to show you that having a defensive game is just as beneficial as having your offensive game, with roughly the same levels of risk. Because clearly, if I would have messed up executing any of those safeties, my opponent could have won the rack. No different than if I were to try to aggressively attack the rack but not finish, I might end up losing the rack. Or, like you saw when my opponent kicked out of one of my safeties and left me safe. Since my kick safe wasn't as good as his, he had an opportunity to be able to win the rack. But since he hooked himself on the 8 and wasn't able to finish, a few more safeties on my part, and I was able to steal the rack back. So, when you find yourself in situations like that, just ask yourself, do you want to try to execute a 20% shot or try to execute a 60% safety? More times than not, you should choose the higher percent option. Because as long as you're making good choices in your match and you still lose, that's a loss that you should be okay with, just like how I'm okay with this loss. I just clearly wish I would have played a little bit better. So, I hope everybody was at least able to enjoy this match and learn something from it, because if you did, please give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and then be sure to click the bell notification icon to be notified whenever I go live or publish a new video. Take care, everybody.